Hold up. This isn't some cheesy kid show. This is Kids in the Tank, a young perspective on business from high school students.
Welcome to Kids in the Tank. I'm Andrew, and with me in the tank are Elsa, Trent, and Carson. Today we are honored to have Chuck Powell on the phone with us. Chuck is currently the head of business operations for Amazon Channels and head of worldwide content operations for Amazon Video. Chuck, you're officially in the hot seat.
Hey Chuck,
Thank you.
Hey Chuck, it's Elsa speaking.
Hi, Elsa.
So you're obviously into movies. Which one was your favorite one growing up?
Great question. So growing up, it was a pretty strict house. I went to bed pretty early, and by the time call it middle school, I was watching kind of more films. So I can probably remember earliest films. Watching a lot of them where I could pick a favorite around middle school. Hands down, anyone who knows me knows that not only my favorite movie ever, but the best movie ever is The Karate Kid.
Okay.
So is that, we're all in agreement there?
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty
Okay.
good.
I mean, it's a good movie.
Classic
Yeah.
movie.
It's pretty good. Has anybody ever seen the movie? Not the one with Jaden Smith.
Yeah,
Ralph
no.
Macchio,
Yeah, the
Pat
original.
Morita.
Yeah.
I'm getting fired up here. So when I was, this is a terrible parenting story. When I was 7th grade, my parents put a TV in my room. I think they just wanted to get rid of me. And I bet you I watched Karate Kid 400 times in a year and a half. So I can still quote the movie for you. If I moved out of that nostalgia and went into, take Karate Kid out of it, I'd probably say Son of a Woman. Son of a Woman's with Al Pacino. And I think there's a scene in that movie where he's at the Oak Room at the Plaza Hotel in New York, and he dances a tango. He's a blind war vet, and I think it's one of the best scenes in movie history. Love Al Pacino, and then to give you more to my long-winded answer, I'll watch anything with Tom Hanks in it. He's one of the actors that no matter what he does, I don't care what the movie is, I'll watch it.
Tom Hanks, very good.
All right. So how does being head of worldwide operations differ from your past roles at Amazon?
Great. Yeah. Well, I'm 3 odd weeks into it, so I'll give you the answer I'll have today, and you should ask me this question in like 4 more weeks and then in a year. Thus far, the obvious differences are biggest team size I've ever had. It's in terms of just the number of people. First time I've had a team that is global, which is the teams in Asia as well as Europe. One of the bigger things that's different, it's very similar because, to totally not answer your question, because it's still very operational supply chain driven. It's digital supply chain versus physical supply chain, but it's similar in that way. However, it's very, very tough to get the studios that actually make the content, that make the movies, that make the TV shows change their ways. They've been set in these ways for a long time. Most of them are strategically focused on making good movies and TV shows, as they should be, and give very little thought to the operations. And my job is telling them not just you should, but why you should. So I take them things like, because you delayed getting me this movie at this time, you probably lost yourself $6 million in rental or in purchases, things like that, because that resonates with them. If I just say, hey, you need to do things better, you need to be faster and higher quality at shipping me this movie. When I go into a meeting with the head of that studio and I say, you just cost yourself $6 million, that resonates. And that's actually tougher. It's different than other roles because it is really left behind and it's an afterthought in a digital industry. So every time I go in, there's roughly 250 different studios that we work with. The majority of the content comes from about 10 of them. And all of them kind of do things their own way. So there's very little standardization. Coming into this digital world, I didn't think that would be the issue. I thought, hey, it's like emailing somebody. I don't have to worry about trucks and transportation. It's gonna be easy. It's much harder. And that's it. The fun part is it's entertainment. So the good part is different than others. This year I've been able to go to the Super Bowl, the Final Four, and the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight. At all of those, they were fun, but they were also places where I got legitimate work done and got decision makers to align on certain things that we hadn't been able to align on in a meeting setting in an office for years. So this, your first question was, what movie do I like? This, it's great because I do like movies. I like the entertainment industry, but I've also figured out how to parlay my love for that and doing fun stuff into actually getting work done.
All right.
Hey Chuck, it's Trent here. And based on your career, you're obviously into video entertainment. What series and or movie were you most excited about adding to Amazon Video?
Recently, I would say, it's kind of an unfair question because the answer I should give you with my Amazon hat on is all of them, because there's every show or movie is something someone wants to watch. We signed a deal 6 months ago to buy the digital rights to Thursday Night Football with the NFL. When we signed that, that was one of the most exciting moments and the most scared moments of my career. Exciting because, second time it happened. Twitter had the rights the year before. We got them this year. Scared because we did not have the technology built to actually do what we were signing up to do. We had to build technology to get this in front of you. We had to build technology to insert ads, things like that. But it was a good forcing function. It was really, really good because it made us move quicker and act smarter. But being a sports fan, being a fan of the NFL, that was very exciting. And then the challenge from a business perspective put in front of me. The NFL has very high standards for their brand. They're very smart people. They're passionate about the game of football, but they're very, very smart business people. And it's actually been really fun working with them because we got to learn a lot. We didn't do a lot with live events and sports, and we want to do more, but this is a great testing ground. So I'd say, NFL's on up there.
Hey Chuck, it's Carson here. I was just wondering if you have any advice for us as we're thinking about our post-high school careers.
Yes, I do. I've got tons of it. You should listen to some of it. Let's see. I gave you some earlier when I was chatting with you guys, but I think one of the biggest things I tell everyone is, one, never stop asking questions, never stop learning, putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. You may not be, the best at, whatever it may be, from a subject in school to a sport to a skill, whatever, but go challenge yourself. You never know, and you're going to learn something from it. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's one of the best things about the culture at Amazon that has fit me really well is we're okay with mistakes. I have a saying that I tell all my teams that new mistakes are okay. You need to learn from mistakes, but you have to make mistakes. I remember earlier in my career when I was at Circuit City, I can tell this story now because they're gone and nobody can yell at me, but one of my jobs was sending out forecasts for how much product we were going to buy at the item level to the different companies that we were buying from. And at the time, I was buying SD cards and things like that for cameras. And there were 4 different companies we bought those from. And I sent the forecast for what we were going to buy over the next 6 months for all 4 of them to one of them. And it was in an Excel spreadsheet. It was an email I sent. It was one of those moments when I sent it, and as soon as I sent it, something registered in my head, and I won't say the words that I said, but like, whoa, I know I made a mistake, and I had to, get on the phone, tell the person I sent it to please delete it, immediately go tell, my manager what had happened, and I remember them, just talking to me like I was in a situation where I thought I'd be fired, but it didn't. It was fine. They said, learn from it. Here's what we can do. Fast forward, that was around 2000, call it 2005, 2006. When I was in a role here at Amazon, it was 2012. Somebody came to my desk and said, "I just sent the books forecast to this one book publisher for all the publishers," and I was like, "Wow, this is." And the person looked at me, and I was like, "Man, they were green, they were sick," and I said, "Look, hey, let me tell you this story," and told them, here's what happened. And it's fine. What do we learn from that? And you learn from mistakes. Like, I worry when I find somebody that's like, I hadn't really made a big mistake. The times I've learned the most in my career is coming off of a big mistake. But I'd say, to answer your question again, it's don't be afraid to make mistakes. To be a good skier, you have to fall, and you cannot be afraid of it. So that's my biggest advice there.
Yeah, thanks. We'll definitely keep that in mind.
Hey, Chuck, it's Elsa again. So I'm a huge...
All right, let's do it.
I'm a huge fan of Starbucks, and I see that Amazon Video has partnered up with them. How has it been working with them throughout their series, The Upstanders?
This is you just nailed one of the greatest parts of working at Amazon. I had no idea we'd partner with Starbucks, so tell me what we're doing.
Well, I mean, when I was researching you, I was looking, I went straight to social media, and I found absolutely nothing, but
on me?
I did.
You found anything on me?
No, I only found you on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
so
the only Chuck Powell is a guy that runs a sports talk show.
Chuck and Puck
Yeah,
show.
Chuck and Puck.
Oh yeah, the Chuck Powell show in Seattle.
Yeah.
You guys really did some good creepy research. Good job.
We were very confused on whether you were the same person.
We were comparing pictures and trying to figure out, is that him?
I've been told I have a face for radio, so that's good. That's not me. So yeah, you found something on Starbucks and Amazon?
Yeah. So I was on Twitter and I kind of looked up your name and nothing came up, but all of these ads came up, and I mean, I'm not really sure what the campaign is about and what the series is about, but I know that they're coming out with their second season shortly.
Of Amazon Video and Starbucks.
Yes.
I think you're making this up.
I mean, I saw it on Twitter and it was.
I just found it.
Yeah. Hey. Okay. Cool.
Also, I tell you what, you're so much more than a Disney princess. The Starbucks streaming reality series on Amazon Prime Video. I honestly had no idea, and I just found this on Home Media Magazine. Yeah, exactly. It's but yeah, I see this. So here's what happens in these situations. I'm quickly glancing at this. So what they have done is they have partnered with a group called Amazon Video Direct. Amazon Video Direct is a service we launched about a year and a half ago, where anyone on this podcast can upload their content, a video they made, a movie, a TV show, through this kind of self-service model. We do the same thing for books, and we just launched this one for video a year and a half ago. It looks like they partnered with us in some marketing very, very recently, and it's both from the video and the Kindle perspective. So there's a team across Amazon Video called Content Acquisition. I am Content Operations, but Content Acquisition, the way this business works is a studio like Amazon Studios can make a movie or make a TV show, and then they send it to my team and we get it up on the screen. Content Acquisition, those teams go out to the other studios that I was mentioning, like Sony's and Warner's and things like that, and they say, okay, well, I'll give you X amount of dollars to have the rights to that. That's what they've done in this case, is done a deal through them. So this series will not get up on site without my team doing some work. However, I can't say that I've worked with them, but I do enjoy Starbucks as well, and I can tell you that within 3 miles this is a fun Seattle fact. Within 3 miles of where I'm sitting right now, there's over 200 Starbucks locations.
Jeez,
Wow.
that's
There's
incredible.
3 here.
Yeah. The other fun thing about Starbucks, not to go on the Starbucks kick, but I think it's 22% of their revenue is coming through their app today. So people that have the app and have, money in the app, they pay through the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that
Great.
quite a bit. It
Yeah,
saves time.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great for them. Yep.
Also, I kind of have a follow-up question. So, what would it take for something like Kids in the Tank to be a part of that Amazon video?
Yeah, so Kids in the Tank, I mean, through Amazon Video Direct, you that is something that's doable within honestly minutes. Amazon, think of it as almost a YouTube type format. That is the easiest way for you to get stuff up on the site and actually monetize it. You can select. Do you put it into Prime Video, or do you put it into our transactional business where people can buy or rent it? In Prime Video, I think we pay people, if you put that content up, you pay whoever made it some money per stream, based on when people watch it. But that's by far the easiest way to get content like Kids in the Tank up. From a podcast perspective, I'm pretty certain Audible is one of the subsidiaries, or I know Audible is one of the subsidiaries of Amazon, and they have a similar service where you can get podcast information up, and we may be doing that through our app store as well. So I think there's multiple ways of doing it today.
Cool. Maybe you could connect us.
More exposure we get,
I know
that here we
people.
are.
I know people, yeah, exactly.
All right. Hey, Chuck, it's Andrew. Do you feel that the environment from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is what got you to where you are today? Is the competition and the size of the university comparative to your work field?
I don't think anybody's ever asked me that question. It's really good. So, that's two different questions. The first one, did it get me where I am today? It was part of it. I feel like a lot of things that have either I've done accidentally or experiences that I've had, or I can tell you very few things that I say, I'm going to go do that, and that's going to lead me to the next thing. That's rare that it happens to anyone. But yes, I think it's hard to say that didn't. It was a big part of my growing as an adult. Frankly, leaving high school, living with parents. I never actually moved back in with my parents after high school. I was always on internships in the summer, living at college, and just learning how to. At some point, I moved into an apartment, and my parents said, "Well, here's the amount of money you get per month, and that's rent, that's food, that's gas, that's whatever." And having to figure that out was miserable. I mean, I think the first week I was given that task, the money was gone, and then I was kind of looking around for 3 weeks. Those types of things, I can attribute to, indirectly to being at University of North Carolina. North Carolina it's a liberal arts school. So if I had picked colleges based on career, I would have been an engineer. I knew I loved math. I was the Lego kid. Just loved spatial things. My mom was a math teacher, so I played with tangrams. If anybody knows what that is, if not, look it up. But it's the opposite of playing with like a Batman figurine. It's like a math game. But that helped me from a spatial perspective. I knew I wanted to be in engineering, so if I had stayed in-state college in North Carolina, I would have gone to NC State, and there's no way I was going to do that. So I went to North Carolina, and I would challenge that most people that whatever their degree is, yes, they're going to learn, yes, they're going to do things with that, but it's not going to be this direct one-to-one. And I think I learned a lot from people. I took a ton of different types of classes. I met a lot of fun people, but in my opinion, you go to college to do 3 things. The first is to learn. And that could be learning a certain trade. If you're going to be a doctor, and if you're going to be my doctor, I'd prefer you go and learn what you're doing. But you're going to learn regardless. The second is you're going to network. And networking could be with your peers, it could be with professors, it could be through an internship. It doesn't matter. Like that's your opportunity to meet, people and learn. And the third is have fun. If you're stressed out in college, which will probably happen at some point, then talk to somebody, talk to a mentor. But you're there to have fun, learn, and network. And I think North Carolina was perfect for me. I think it got me there. The second part of your question, I can't remember now because I've rambled on so long.
All right. Is the competition and size of the university comparative to your work field?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's a big university. I had classes at times there were 300 people. Amazon has grown a ton since I was there. I think the stuff that is similar is there's always a ton going on and a ton to keep up with, and you have to kind of prioritize. I have to figure out every day, like, which meetings I'm going to go to, which meetings am I going to skip, who do I need to meet with today, and who just it's not a priority, and I have to push off. You have to do the same thing in college. It's not quite as forced on you, and you get to pick those things, but you can't do everything. So I think that part of the kind of the scale and speed and pace of a big university to Amazon is, absolutely going to be comparative, and it helped me, but also a lot of diverse people and backgrounds work at Amazon, same with UNC. But yeah, I think they did help a lot, and again, I credit my parents a lot. I credit like teachers I had along the way, and there's the university itself, and I love it. I go back every year at least once to do on-campus recruiting. I'll be there next week, and I can't give back enough to them.
All right, Chuck. Thank you for answering our questions. We will now be moving on to our next segment, Flip It, where you will be asking us the questions.
All right. You're in trouble.
Bring it.
All right. So I'll start off with an easy one. You all have to answer this. And, so you may have seen in the news recently that Amazon has said, hey, we want to build a second headquarters, HQ2.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're in Seattle. If I said each of you has to pick which city in North America we put HQ2 in, and the main reason why, what would that be? And let's start with Andrew.
Probably Delavan, Wisconsin. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, well, it's in the running.
All right, yeah. You guys probably definitely considering it. Real big city.
Yeah. You have to tell me why as well.
Well, it's right in my backyard. I think it'd be pretty cool to come from the city that Amazon headquarters is in, or one of them at least.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The other part of this question is nobody can answer with the same city or reason why. So you're welcome.
That
You're
makes
welcome,
it a little
Andrew.
tougher. A lot of cities,
Yeah.
though.
All right. All right, Elsa, you're up next.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Why Pittsburgh?
Because I feel like a lot goes on there. And, like, I don't know. I feel like there's lots of different medias and outlets where you can, I guess, market out more, like branch out and be able to connect to many different parts of the world. And it's not like a cliche city like Chicago. And I don't know.
Wait, that sounds a lot very opinionated. What do you have against Chicago?
No,
I mean,
nothing. I
Chicago
love the
can't seem
city.
to win a
That's
game
my
against the
end.
Dodgers, but
That's my
besides that,
end goal. Chicago's my end goal. But I love that city. I
To be
just
in the-
didn't
to
want
be
a
in the
cliche
cliche
answer.
city?
Yeah,
I
like
just,
being
I don't know.
cliche.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Who's up next? Carson?
Well, I think I'm gonna have to edge towards the cliche side. I guess I would say New York, because it's, one of the biggest cities, and there's so much to do there, and so much that you could get involved with, and be able to sell your brand to other people, and show other people who you are and what you do, and yeah.
Okay. All right. Last one. Trent.
I would have to say Dallas, Texas. In Texas, you have so many
Okay.
sports teams if you want to connect through that kind of standpoint. And there's a lot of resources that you can connect out to, a lot of exposure, no state income tax from a financial standpoint, if that helps at all.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
if
have
that
to
helps
say,
at all. Yeah, it helps a little bit. Yeah.
I'd have to say somewhere
Yeah.
in Texas.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys really spread it out well. That's good. I don't know where it's going to be. I'm reading the stories the same way as you. Very interested to see. I mean, there's going to be a mix of reasons we go where we go, but I think it's really interesting. It's similar to the way cities bid on the Olympics. So I'm excited to hear where we go, and I'm very hopeful it's in your backyard. All right. So the next question I have for you guys. Let's see. I guess you guys tell me whoever wants to answer this. It's for everybody, but you can answer. Biggest mistake. I said to learn, you have to. I believe you really have to make mistakes. What's the biggest mistake you've made that you've learned from? And when I say learn from, meaning you changed a behavior, you've been able to influence others in the same way and help them as well. But who has a good mistake they've made that really helped them and they learned from it? Similar to me sending out the wrong forecast.
One time I was at a friend's house.
Who was this?
and Oh, this is Andrew. This is Andrew. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. One time I was at a friend's house and I fell asleep till 2:30 in the morning without telling my parents. So that was a real blast when I got home. Definitely learned from that one.
Yeah.
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 I have a more
Would you learn from that not to sleep anymore?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably not to fall asleep when I'm not at
Sleep
my own
is
house.
valuable, especially in school.
Yeah.
Not in school.
No.
Not in school,
just to be clear,
but-
were your parents really like easygoing and just kind of said, "Hey, let's try harder"? Was that
Yeah.
the message they gave you?
That was kind of like the opposite of that was what I was hoping they would be like. I don't think it's really how it ended up.
Okay.
It was not a
All
good
right,
morning.
All right. Before I'm not going to ask too many prying details on that one. Who else? I need one more good one.
Elsa, you're gonna say something?
Yeah. So, like, educationally, I guess, kind of walking away from the social mistake. At my school, we're doing a big transition. And so we changed the way, like, our honor roll is. And you have to take, like, a rigorous course. And each course is worth, like, a Laude point. And that's basically, like, it's going to determine whether you're cum laude, summa cum laude, or magna cum laude. And my freshman and sophomore year, I did not take very seriously and kind of took the BS classes. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
Right,
I'll go on back
took
to this
those
point.
British studies class.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really kind of regret that because I feel like I could be further in my education than where I
Yeah.
am now. So,
I think we can all relate to that at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. No, I think, I think the benefits you get from being in the seat where you are today and being able to realize that you did make that mistake and that you learned from it is way bigger than, in my opinion, what you would have gotten from getting a couple better grades. So that's awesome. All right. We're going to get a little harder on this one. Who's going to volunteer for the hard question?
Trent.
I volunteer as tribute.
Oh, wow. Stepping up.
All right. So it is just trying to. Okay. So this is it's one of those fun philosophical things. So, my mom was a teacher for 41 years. When you're going to school, there's always, and as a parent, I have 3 kids, and I think about this as well. There's 2 things that happen in schools a lot of times. There's learning, and then there's getting good grades, getting a good score on tests. How do you personally evaluate if you're learning or if you're just trying to get good grades?
I kind of view grades as like something you strive for, but not everyone takes learning seriously enough. Like a lot of kids will get an A in a class, but then like a month, 2 months later, after they're not learning about it anymore, they'll forget about it. So how valuable is it down the road? Or like the next year when you review on that topic in a different class and you don't remember anything about it, it's kind of not valuable to you anymore if you didn't really learn the material. That A is nice and it looks good for college, but in the end, it's not going to help you as much as learning it actually would.
Yeah, my grandma used to give me cash for A's too. That's another direct benefit, right?
That would be
Grandma
nice.
cash.
Wait, grandma?
Yeah.
Getting cash is
Yeah.
always good.
Oh, yeah, cat. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Who doesn't love cash?
So that's really interesting. I think there is a difference in the two at times. And when we go back to like what I was saying earlier around being excited to go to work every day, that's excited. I'm excited to learn. I don't want a job where I go and do the exact same thing every day. And I think that's what learning is all about. So I think it's good that there are going to be times when you have to get that A or you have to get that certain score on a standardized test, and you're going to have to do that for some very obvious reasons. But if you keep learning, that's something that you can always kind of drive yourself. You don't set the rules for the SAT and for the college you're trying to get into, but you set the rules for you learning. So that's awesome that you're thinking about that. All right, now less philosophical. All of you have to answer this one as well. I'll pick the order. If I said tomorrow, you have to run Amazon Studios and you're going to get to pick one actor or actress to star in the movie that we're going to make. We don't know what the movie is. You have to pick one person to star in it. It's your decision. Who are you going to pick and why? And let's start with Carson.
If I had to pick, I would probably say Tom Cruise because I love all the movies that he's in. I think he's very versatile and he can do so many different things, and I think he's good at all of them.
Tom Cruise. Nailed it. That was my pick too. I'm just kidding. All right. That's just an acceptable answer. Let's see. Andrew.
All right. Well, I don't know if he was like a bad guy that I had to pick. Definitely like Christoph Waltz. He's probably my favorite like person for a villain. He's so good.
Yeah.
Like my favorite movie is probably Django, and he plays
Yeah.
the bounty hunter. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then in
What
Spectre
if
too.
what if you did meet a villain?
If it was a villain?
No, if it was not.
If it
someone that
wasn't.
was gonna be.
Probably Christoph Waltz again.
Reverse roles.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
weird
no.
why you said
Yeah,
that.
I just remembered that he wasn't actually the bad guy in Django, so yeah.
Wasn't gonna call that out. That's fine. That's okay. So you like that actor? Got
Yes.
it. All right. Trent.
Will Ferrell. There's never a dull moment with that guy. There's always something new,
Yeah.
funny. You can't not
Yeah.
laugh at him.
He plays the same
Yeah.
character in all of his movies.
Yeah, but it's different.
Yeah, he's got it
that's
down
not-
pat,
that's
though.
not
He
fair.
knows
He
how
was
to
an
play
But
elf
it's
in
different
one. He was
in
a
so many
NASCAR
ways.
driver in one.
Exactly.
Oh God, it's totally
Not
unfair
the same.
statement.
If you're not first, you're last.
Oh, God, terrible. All right, who we not? Elsa.
Yeah. I'm really bad with names.
Please say Kristen Bell. Please say Kristen Bell.
No. Probably Miley Cyrus. Because
Oh, Hannah Montana.
yeah, kind of bring back my
Just
childhood.
before
And I
or
feel
after
like
Wrecking Ball?
after, of course.
okay.
Like now she's like
Alright.
kind of
Why?
on a better
why-
path.
Why Miley?
I don't know. I just kind of want to see her again now that she's kind of
Well,
better
she's on The Voice
herself.
every week.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
back to Hannah Montana times.
Yeah. She did kind of go in a couple different directions
Yeah.
over the last. All right. Last question, and again, I want you all to chime in here. Being as super powerful as I am at Amazon, that's a joke.
All right.
If you could say, "Hey, Chuck, make this one thing happen tomorrow. Make Amazon do this one thing tomorrow," what would that be? You can go in whatever order you want to go in.
Carson?
I would say that, honestly, I am an Amazon Prime member, and I was talking to my mom about doing this and talking to you, and she was like, so we have this thing, it's, the Amazon Video, and she was like, I have no idea how to use it. And so I feel like if you could reach out to your customers a little bit more and have maybe a better way of explaining how some things work, and you know have ideas for other people out there.
Got it. So she has the Fire TV, and she knows how to use it.
Yeah, she has no idea.
Yep. All right. Jeff has my cell phone number. Tell your mom to text me. I'm serious. Tell your mom to text me, and let's set up time, and I'm going to walk her through it.
All right.
All right? All right.
Pretty
Who's
generous
up
of
next?
you.
I'll go. For me, it would be to sponsor kind of programs like BizTank. That sounds cliche because we're in it. But I mean, this is helping kids for the future. We could be like possibly your boss, maybe. Or we could work for you. We're the future. I mean, it's always nice to help out those lower on the totem pole, I guess, in any way you can, whether it be mentoring or just
Money.
workshops, anything of that nature. Like what you're doing right now, we
Yep.
appreciate it.
Yep. No, I think that's great, and that's, I think, like I told you guys in the start of the presentation earlier, I think very few folks out there are doing what Jeff and Mark and the team there are doing, and I think it's great. So Jeff knows me. I'll figure out how to make something work there. And it's I agree. I mean, again, I go to my high school, I go to my college. I like to see what's going on there and see how I can help. And if it's even doing stuff like this or making myself available in one-off situations, I'm going to do it. So that's an awesome one. Thank you. All right, who's up next?
I'll go. So on the more selfish side, I mean, we're all thinking it, free membership for life.
I'm
am I
really
right?
on with a Fire TV stick. You can't get more selfish than that. All right, let's go. Go ahead.
Free membership for life. I mean, we're all thinking
mem-
it here.
Free
yeah.
Prime member?
I mean,
Free
Yeah,
Prime
of
member for
course.
life?
I'll
Yes,
take
yes, yes, Prime.
Look it up.
I've worked here almost 8 years. Do you know what I pay every year for a Prime membership?
Same as everyone else.
$100.
Yeah, $99 a year. So I think the other way that we can think about this is we will make certain that you can easily extract $100 of value out of that Prime membership. Therefore, we're paying you to be a Prime member. Does that work?
All right, sure.
good enough.
It'll
for
work.
us.
It'll work.
Okay. All right.
All right. So, when you sign up for Amazon Prime, you get that free month or 2 months or however long it is. You guys should cancel it, and then they have to resubscribe, because I have so many of my friends come up to me and they say, hey, if you need anything ordered off Amazon, just tell me, because I accidentally bought a year's worth of Prime and they took $100 out of my account. I had no idea.
so you're I'm missing what your request is. Is it to tell your friends to make sure they know what they're signing up for?
Yeah, just cancel the subscription after the free month, and then they have to re-sign up if they want Prime, because you guys are probably lose so much money from all those accidental year purchases, though.
You know what? It's interesting that you say that. We've done a ton of research on that. I did a free trial study within my last business. Rarely is the situation happen that you're talking about, but when those do happen and you call Amazon, we will always give you that money back.
Okay.
And also, when I look at, I'll keep this brief, but I actually did a study with free trials on Showtime, HBO, and those types of channels for 30-day, 14-day, 10-day, 7-day, because we had this thought that it needs to be as long as possible for customers. So in every indication we got from customers that was that 7 days was actually better. And the reason why was people had more urgency to watch the shows in those channels, and then they got hooked on them and they kept watching. So it was really interesting where we said, oh, the most customer-centric thing to do is have a 30-day free trial because that's, it's there. Or give them a 60-day free trial. And we said, okay, let's test both of them. And we looked at all these different metrics around customers, calling customer service, social media. We looked at how they engaged with the product and how often they watched and how much they watched. And all the metrics for 7-day were better than 30. It was really interesting. And also, we've tested before, when your 30 days is coming to an end, we may still do this. We send you an email and say, hey, it's coming up. We also have tested shutting it off before and gotten way more customer complaints from shutting off the service and making you re-sign up after 30 days than we did from not, because it's human nature. You don't want to do work.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to go do that again. But yeah, if your friends get that, and then you can shoot me their number, I can get them to order stuff from me. That would help.
Yeah, I guess none of them are just smart enough to unsubscribe.
Do not give them my cell phone number. All right. Anything else from me, guys?
No, that's it.
Thank you.
All right, Chuck, thank you so much for joining us on the phone. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, thanks.
You got it. You guys take care.
All right.
You
too.
See you later. Bye.
All right.
A quick shout out to Chuck Powell for being our guest on Kids in a Tank. Before we continue with our last segment, the Roundtable, here's a word from our sponsors. Thank you so much, guys, for sponsoring us.
We
This
wouldn't be here
little sound
without
studio
you.
because
Yeah,
of
we
you.
can't do this without you, so
We appreciate it.
Prestige Paints is changing the way you buy paint. We're the #1 selling brand of interior and exterior paint on Amazon.com. And with the help of our app, Prestige Color Pick, we're making paint buying a whole lot easier. With the app, you can take a picture of your wall and then virtually paint it with any of our 2,400 plus colors. And now you can try our competitors' colors on your walls too. Once you find the color you love, you can purchase it from Amazon right through the app, saving yourself a trip to the store. Prestige Color Pick is free and available through the App Store and Google Play. Live colorfully and design your life with Prestige.
Hi, this is Mike Butler with Elkhorn Chemical and Packaging. We've been in business for 65 years. We're located in Wisconsin. We represent the janitorial, packaging, safety, and maintenance categories. We sell to small businesses all the way to large corporations. So, if you're in need of a cleanup in aisle 9, give us a call at 800-377-3556 or check us out at elkhornchemical.com.
Welcome back to Kids in the Tank. We are now entering our third and final segment, the Roundtable, where we will be talking about everyday topics and trends. All right, guys, so the first thing I want to talk about is those slime videos. I hate them so much. I don't know when they're ever going to stop.
Over the top or not enough?
Over the top.
Yeah, I think they just keep going higher and higher. Like the other day, saw some guy cut up a balloon full of like slime making materials into a bowl, and then he poured some like cereal in it or something and started crunching it up.
That's a little over the top.
Yeah, I don't know. They just keep bringing weird stuff into it, like styrofoam and crap like that. I don't know.
Well,
It's
if
really
you
weird.
know all this, then you're watching them, so
Yeah.
Your fault.
You watch it on your new bendable phone?
No, I don't have one of those. Do you?
No. Does anybody?
no.
I mean, I have an iPhone 6 and it's bent, but
I
bendable.
don't think that's
I don't
supposed to
know.
happen.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know. Do you want a bendable phone, Trent?
No, I wouldn't be comfortable if it just like bend.
But I mean, if
That's the
it's-
point of it, but I wouldn't be comfortable.
You wouldn't
with
want
that.
like a floppy phone?
No.
There has to be a point
Yeah, I
where
think
it
they're, like-
breaks. I
Yeah,
would
don't
end
know.
up breaking it.
I wonder the material it's made out of.
I don't know, like
Yeah.
bendable glass and
Crazy.
like plastic. It's really weird. You know what else is weird though? That donut shop that's using like scary clowns to deliver their donuts now. I know they have one up in Middleton, Wisconsin. You can get donuts delivered to your favorite teacher by a scary clown.
I would definitely
That
do
would be awesome.
Not to my house.
I
Definitely.
mean,
Yeah.
as long as it's untraceable.
Teachers,
It's untraceable.
that would be nice.
Yeah, I'd be afraid I was gonna get killed or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I don't
They're
care
just
if he's got-
delivering the
yeah,
donuts.
Well, I mean,
It's
I'm not
like a
gonna. The first thing I'm not
mission.
gonna see is the donut bag. I'm gonna see the clown.
Okay, yeah.
If a clown just
He's
showed up
probably
at your
hiding
door,
behind
you'd
his
be a little
back
scared.
too.
Yeah.
He's only doing it
Especially-
to scare me.
Yeah.
I would be confused.
Yeah.
Very confused.
You know what else is confusing? #1 Halloween costume this year. Guess what it is, Trent?
Giraffes?
Giraffes. How'd you know?
Lucky guess.
They're the scariest animal.
Scariest
Kidding.
animal?
I'm kidding.
All
It was
right.
sarcastic.
The tall deer?
Yeah.
You don't,
How do they do the necks with that? Like,
I
for a
don't even think they
costume?
do. I think they're just fake giraffes.
Or is
They
it
don't
just,
even have
like,
long necks.
Another part that sticks up above your head that has like another giraffe head up here?
So a hat.
Two
Yeah,
heads?
I have no
I don't
idea.
know. That'd be really weird.
I haven't seen it.
All right, maybe you should get one. Maybe it's a
Maybe I will.
two-person thing like those horse costumes.
Let's do it.
I stand on top of your head and I become the neck.
No.
Not sure that's
Try
how
it.
that would work.
We can
Trent's
always
got a
try.
strong head.
Oh yeah.
It might hurt you though. I don't know. But speaking of hurting, did you see that Gordon Hayward thing where he broke his leg? Yeah, you're a resident sports guy, Trent. Tell us all about it.
He went up for an alley-oop and LeBron kind of blocked him in a way, and he landed on his leg and dislocated his ankle and fractured his tibia.
Ugh, that sucks.
Yeah,
I
that's
watched
like
the video and it was
backwards.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
ankle was like twisted sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me of that one person, the Rio Olympics last year, where they did
That
the
was awful.
yeah, they did the vault and they landed on their leg. That was just it's awful to watch.
Another
It
injury that
hurts.
hits a little too close to home. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I was so sad. I was on my
we
couch.
all were, Trent. We all were.
I was depressed after that for that day. Nothing could make me smile.
Alright.
I was so sad.
That sucks.
Our boy,
Yeah.
our hopes.
All right. Speaking of hopes, who do you think is gonna win the Super Bowl this year?
Chiefs.
Chiefs?
Well, they're doing good right now, but
All
it
right.
can all change based on injury.
Okay. I
Okay,
don't know.
Packers.
You're a sports guy, Trent.
Well, Packers don't have Aaron Rodgers
Well,
anymore,
yeah,
so
obviously. Okay.
it could be
What about
anybody's
you,
game.
Andrew?
Me?
Yeah.
Is the Brewers a football team?
Yes.
Okay. They're gonna win. You heard it here
Same
first.
boat, dude.
Okay. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't really watch football, so I could care less. But for my household, I guess the Packers.
Uh,
Plus Krabby.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the hope in my household too, but with Aaron
I think it's
Rodgers, I
just,
don't know.
Yeah, dreams kind of crushed.
Their cleats are pretty cool, but have you guys heard of the new trend, the ugly pretty shoes deal?
I don't know what is
Oh,
that?
the bulky
You saw that,
Yeah.
right?
platform. Yeah, they're not attractive at all.
They're
I
just
don't
like plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they
Get
make
the
your
point of
feet
that,
look
like,
bad.
Yeah,
Like,
why would you wear
big.
that?
Don't you want to
Yeah.
wear something good?
I don't know
look
how
You
good,
would
you
think.
wear shoes
Yeah.
like
Like-
that, like high heels.
Then that destroys the whole saying, look good, feel good. Then you look bad, feel bad.
I mean, they think they look good, but
I mean-
we're all just laughing at them. So whatever.
Laughing with them. Don't laugh at someone. Laugh with people.
You see how those
It's
shoes
nicer
are
that way.
garbage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those shoes are garbage.
Okay.
Speaking of garbage, trash aisles.
The trash aisles? My favorite subject. The floating aisle of trash. It's like 780,000 like kilometers, something like that. It's like the size of Texas. It's huge.
Wow, that's crazy.
And the like a charity for cleaning up the oceans made it into they're trying to make it into another nation, our 196th nation.
I pledge my allegiance.
Yeah. Yeah, 130,000 people have already signed up to become a citizen.
Go those people.
Yeah, to raise awareness. Pretty cool. They made like money that has like animals with like plastic around their necks on it and stuff like that, and like stamps. I don't know, it's just a lot. Like speaking of animals, yeah,
Hey,
Dogs.
dogs.
Yeah,
Don't
dogs
hug
are
'em.
great.
It's so fun to hug them, but
They hate it.
they don't like it.
It's-
It's irresistible.
I feel so
but
bad.
It's like you love it, but then
I
you
hug
don't know
my
if they
dog
like
like
it or not.
every day, and now I feel so bad
You
because if my dog
traumatized
hates
it.
it, then
Maybe your dog. Well, maybe your dog likes hugging. You don't know. Maybe it's not
Maybe.
all dogs.
yeah, that's true. My dog's a cuddler.
What if you stopped hugging now and now it gets all sad?
Stop.
You guys
That's
seen those
crazy.
fidget spinners?
Oh,
Especially the
ugh.
17,000.
Who
Overrated.
hasn't seen fidget spinners?
Yeah.
$17,000 though? Would you spend that on a fidget
No
spinner?
way.
I wouldn't even spend $5 on a fidget spinner.
It's gonna decrease in value. It's not worth your
Yeah.
investment.
It was
Yeah.
cool for that like 2 months,
Yeah, for like
but then it just
I mean,
dropped.
10
I guess you
days.
can always, because isn't it made out of gold? You can always
Yeah,
melt
some-
it into whatever you
probably
want.
got diamonds on it or
but
something. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, that's for
I
sure.
Problem
I
is
wouldn't
like
invest.
the spinning value though, like
The spinning value.
not the spinning value, but like
How
the
long it's
object,
gonna
the
spin
object
for?
itself. Like
Like the
amount-
quality?
Yeah, like
Oh.
you
How
can
heavy
buy
of gold
like,
it
you can
is?
probably sell the gold, but like for a lot less money.
Yeah.
Basically,
I
for,
mean,
like,
yeah.
My
whole object.
one of my friends built a fidget spinner out of wood at in our wood shop.
The teacher allowed it.
Yeah, they like got to work on whatever they want. They were even building like kind of like a bigger shed for our school. So
Shed.
yeah,
Was it like the size of like a tiny house?
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
kind
buy
of.
those on
Yeah.
Amazon now.
That's
That's
cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work. That'd be a pretty big box. I
You
don't
could
know.
buy a tiny house for as much as a fidget spinner.
You could. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Do you know how much tiny houses cost?
I mean, they can range in value, but
Yeah.
like
I don't really know.
I think I saw one for like 7,000 on
Okay.
Amazon.
but
Yeah,
then
a
they
lot of people
So-
go up to
build
like
their own,
50,000, depending
Yeah.
on like how new they are and what's in them.
There's like a bunch of TV shows about those now too. My mom watches.
Yeah, about designing them and
Oh,
building them.
I don't get it.
HGTV
Yeah.
is the best. Why are you
That's the
hating
only
on
thing
it?
that's on my TV at all
I
times.
love it.
I walk out into the living room and it's one of those like